Hello guys, my name is Nelson Viegas. I'm a high performance trainer, and today I brought here a subject that I consider very important, that most people sometimes they always ask, should I train heavier, should I train lighter, what is the most important factor for muscle hypertrophy? So today I brought here a pyramid that, in my opinion, with 35 years of experience working with different types of athletes and different types of sports, from Olympic athletes to cyclists for the Tour de France, for football players, professional football players, bodybuilders, classic physique athletes, bikini athletes, so men's physique, everything that I work in my life, more than 10,000 clients that I work in my life. This is what I that this is the conclusion that I got. What is the most important factors for hypertrophy? Okay, so for me, I bring today like a pyramid, which I think it's everything is important that it's here. Everything is important. You cannot say that there is something that is not important. But I create like a pyramid, in my opinion. What do I think it's more important? For more important for me, it's the load. It's the weight that you guys lift. So it should be done in a progressive way with a proper diet accordingly. So what I mean is, you should lift heavier and heavier. So try to lift heavier all the time. Of course, on the beginning, the increase of strength is much bigger than after 10 years. But you need to also to eat accordingly. So we know that to build 1 kilo of muscle mass, you need to have a surplus of calories of at least 6,700 kilocalories just to build 1 kilo of muscle on top of your total energy expenditure during the day. So it's a lot of calories that you need to eat. If you need to gain 10 kilos, you need 67,000 kilocalories. Imagine you need to gain 20 kilos is more than 120,000 kilocalories on top of the energy that you already spend during the day. We call TEE, total energy expenditure. So in my opinion, the load is the most important factor. The second is the time under tensions, because you can say like this, okay, if the load is more important, so why the power lifters, they are not bigger than the bodybuilders because they lift more weight? Exactly, that's a good question, because the power lifters, they don't eat for that, and also they don't put the muscle under they don't put the muscles under attention for enough period of time. So for you to have hypertrophy, you cannot just lift the weight one time. You need to lift the weight more than 6 times. We call 6 reps, or time under tension, between 6 reps to 30, 35, 40. We can see in most of studies after 50 reps there is no more response, but you can grow with 6 reps, but you also can grow with 30, 35 reps as long as you reach failure. The only difference between 6 reps and 30 or 35 reps is you're not going to gain any strength if you do lots of reps. So the sweet spot would be between 6 reps to 12, 16, some cases 20 reps in some exercises, some specific exercises I will explain in the end, okay? So most important, the load. The second, the time under tension. So I put here between 20 and 60 seconds per working set. People have this misconception of the working set. What is a working set? So for example, I do 7 plates, sometimes 8 plates of deadlifts, which is 300, 340 kilos of deadlifts. If I do 1 rep, that is my working set. But the previous set is also a working set. So the sets that are close to failure, they are considered working sets. So I don't consider the first set with 1 plate a working set. I don't consider the second as a working set. Those sets are warm-up sets. Okay, they are feeder sets. So they are preparing me to increase the weight for the last sets, the top sets. Okay, so those are the working sets. Okay, so first load, second time under tension, third the volume. The volume is the sets that you do per week. What the science and what we see in experience working with so many athletes, it's between 15 and 25 working sets per week close to failure. Okay, so heavy weights, put those sets under attention that it's between 20 and 60 seconds and divide them per week. that that you must do between 15 to 20 working sets. You can do in one training. For example, if you do one muscle per day, you can do 25 working sets of chest, or you can divide, for example, and you do 6 sets, for example, 3 times per week, or 12 sets 2 times per week. Okay, so you can divide by for the week. The fourth is going to be the technique. So for me, first the load, second time under tension, third volume, fourth technique. I put here full range of motion, length partials, on a stretched face, isometrics and negatives. Most people, they ask me, oh Nelson, but you are saying that the technique is not the most important for hypertrophy. No, obviously it's not the most important. It's important, yes, like I said, and I'm going to repeat it again. Technique is very important. You need to teach your clients how to train properly. That's why we are there, that's why they pay us. But it's not going to be that that's going to grow the muscle. That is going to teach them how to do the movement, but it's not going to grow the muscle. So to grow the muscle, you need load, you need heavier load, progressive overload, you need progressive diet. So the diet needs to progress, needs to increase the calories, you need to increase the amount of food that you eat. That muscle needs to be under stress for a period of time. You can start with 15 sets, then after a couple of weeks you can increase to 16 sets, and then you can increase for more weeks, 2 months, 3 months, you can increase for 17 sets, 18 sets, it will reach 25 sets. So everything is it's a progressive overload. It's not doing the same thing all the time. Okay, if you do the same thing all the time, of course you're gonna reach the same level all the time. So you need to change, but change in a progressive way, not just mix everything up like I see most of the coaches. Oh no, you need to shock the muscle, you need to change everything. No, you don't need to change anything. You need to keep the training, and then you add something to the training. You add more calories, you add more weights, you add more sets, you add more reps, you add something to make the muscle be in a more physiological stress than it used to be last week or the previous weeks. Okay, so, and then the fifth, in my opinion, is the periodization. How you organize this by the year. So we have the macro cycles, you have the mesocycles, and you have the microcycles and the blocks. So the macro cycles, it's the long cycles. So it can be 4 months, it can be 6 months, it can even be a year. And then you divide that macro cycle in mesocycles. It can be short, like 2 months. Microcycles is a week. And the block is how you're going to do this. So are you going to, okay, I want to do a block now of 3 reps for strength. Now I'm going to do a block of 8 reps. I'm going to do blocks of 20 reps. Okay, so how the coaches really work, it's this is the professional way of working, and not 6 to 12 in every exercise. Okay, so the periodization is very important, because this is what keeps you progressing without getting overreaching and overtraining. Okay, without burning the engine. Okay, so this is not just lifting weights and weights and weights and more heavy, you know, like, because I said here, okay, the most important is the load. So the goal is to do it heavier and heavier and heavier until I'm deadlifting 600,000 kilos. It's not like that. Okay, it needs to be periodized. So the sixth factor that I consider that it's important in this pyramid of hypertrophy is the advanced techniques. Drop sets, cluster sets, strip sets, giant sets, etc. What I see now, most of the people in the gym, especially kids, they go to the gym and after 3, 4, 5 months, they are already doing giant sets, they are already doing drop sets, they are making themselves tired for the rest of the training, which is nonsense. We can use these sets, yeah, we can use these advanced techniques. For example, today I have half an hour to train. Brett Schoenfeld did a study last week, and he spoke about that, and he proved that you can do equivalent work doing, for example, drop sets or giant sets in a short period of time, and the work is equivalent to a longer training. Okay, but that day, specific that day, I have half an hour to train, and I need to squeeze that training in 30 minutes. So I can do a very good training in 30 minutes as long as I know what I'm doing. So I can use these techniques. But don't start with this. These kids, they don't need this. These kids need to start training heavy, choose 2-3 exercises for a long period of time, and improve. Remember, if you want to be a good runner, you cannot do cycle in the morning, in a Monday, and then you do running on a Tuesday morning, and then you do running on a Wednesday morning, and then you do jumping on a Thursday morning, and you do whatever football on a Friday morning. No, you have to do the same thing. you have to do the same thing to improve. If you want to be a good runner, you have to run on a Monday, you have to run on a Tuesday, you have to run on a Wednesday, so you have to run every day to become good. Otherwise, you're going to be average in everything, but you're not going to be good in nothing. So if you want to improve, if you want to be good in something, you need to practice that skill over and over again until you will become good. So, okay, so this is very important. So don't go there and start doing drop sets and giant sets and whatever when you are a beginner. Doesn't make any sense. The seventh aspect that I consider important is the mobility. So the same thing happened, the mobility here with the technique. I don't say that it's not important just because I put it in the last place. Like I said, the 7 factors that I consider important for hypertrophy, all of them are important. But mobility, for example, stretching, specific work for a specific sport, or symmetry, and the use of other tools like bands or elastics to create emphasis on a specific portion of the movement. For example, I can put elastic on the leg press and make the beginning of the exercise much more harder. So I just put that in an elastic, so in the beginning when I push, it's much harder. Like I said, if the stretch position is the position that's going to give me more muscle hypertrophy, I will make it difficult. Okay, I can use elastic, I can use a band, I can use any type of these tools to improve my strength in that specific part of the motion. So the mobility also goes in there. So the mobility is very important for you guys to be mobile. You don't want to be stiff. You want to touch your feet. You want to tie your shoes. I see most of my friends, they are bodybuilders. They cannot even tie their shoes. This is not nice. I did martial arts all my life. I did martial arts for 35 years, and I can still do the splits. So, okay, but is that important for my bodybuilding? No, that's not important for my bodybuilding, but it's important for my life, for my mobility. So that's why I put it in last place. Just because it doesn't give me any hypertrophy, it doesn't mean that it's not worth it to do it. So yeah, you should do it. So my opinion, guys, this is what I think it's important, or more important for hypertrophy. First, the load. You have to use that load under a certain type of tension for you to create hypertrophy. That time of attention, it should be divided per week in volume or in working sets. So for example, if I do a working set of that lasts 60 seconds, I need to divide how many sets should I do per week. So load, time and attention, volume, technique, do the exercise correctly, periodize, don't do everything always the same way, change the ways that you do everything, but do it in cycles. Don't do it changing every week. Like if you want to think that you're going to have better results just because you change everything every week, that's not going to happen. Use advanced techniques and improve your mobility. So this is what I believe in and what I think that it's the best way for you guys to maximize your hypertrophy. Remember that with PEDs or no PEDs, you need to always progress. You need to progress your food. You need to progress your training, your loads. But obviously, if you use PEDs, what's going to happen is, if you're trying to go to a competition and if you are using any type of fat burners, I'm going to call it fat burners just to make it simple for the video, I'm not expected to create hypertrophy because first, I'm in calorie deficit. Second, the drugs that I'm using are very adrenergic, so they make my body activate too much beta receptors. So I'm burning much more calories. If I use T3, GH, if I use Masteron, Winstrol, Clenbuterol, these type of things that makes me have a bigger basal metabolic rate, of course, I will not increase my hypertrophy, okay? So that's why when you periodize, you calculate everything. You calculate your training, your diet, and your PEDs. Everything should be there, and also the cardio, okay? Thank you guys once again for this video. I hope you guys enjoy, and just like it, comment, subscribe, because it's important for the engagement to me to continue to do these videos and make more, bring more knowledge for you guys, and clarify some doubts that people sometimes think that the load in bodybuilding is not important. But you can cry, you can shout, you can throw yourself over the Burj Khalifa down, but the load, you cannot run away from heavy weights, you cannot run away from volume, you cannot run away from time and attention, you cannot run away from these principles. You know, this has been like this for the last 50 years, and most of the studies that they are doing now in 2024, they are just proving that most of bodybuilders, they were correct in the way that they were training, despite some YouTubers and some influencers, they come with these ideas that they put 5 kilos in a single hand lat pull down, and they are there with 5 kilos and they spend 3 hours there in that machine. They think that's going to do anything, but bro, that is not going to do anything. So you need to push yourself, you need to train hard, otherwise you're not going to see any results. Then you're going to blame the steroids, you're going to blame the food, you're going to blame the weather, you're going to blame the mental health, and you're going to blame your genetics, you're going to blame everything, but you're not training hard enough. Okay, so stop giving excuses and train hard. Thank you so much and have a great day.